Hey, peeps, my week is going great. I hope yours is going amazing as well. Today I got something totally different for my channel. Today I want to read you guys a book, and it's not just a book. Last year I was really into writing books myself, and since I started this YouTube channel, I was always wondering, should I read them on a video or should I just keep them for myself? And now I just decided to read them because I got this new mic, and this YouTube channel is just for me to enjoy, and if you guys enjoy it, that's a big plus for me. This first book that I'm gonna read is named The Shadows of Heaven. Shadows of Heaven is, together with Lost at Sea, one of my favorite books that I wrote myself. And there's not a lot to say about this book, just that, except for the title, it's the only book that really came from my imagination and nothing really that happened to me in real life, while all the other books were based on at least one thing that happened in my life. So just the title is stolen from a band that I had in real life in school. My friends kind of dragged me into it there, and I gave it that name. I came up with that name at first. After that, they changed the name, but that's all side story. I hope you enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed writing it myself, so I hope you like me reading it. Let me know down in the comments if my voice is utterly annoying. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away from the outside world, there was a kingdom called Argabon. Argabon got ruled by a loving king that didn't care for the standards that the outside world gave them. He only cared about the well-being of his own people. They needed to live happy. They needed to feel like they lived in the heaven on earth. The task that this king had given himself was far from easy. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't please everyone that lived in his kingdom. And so the tale began of a little family that became the victim of the king's heaven on earth. This family lived far in the east, well hidden in the forest. It didn't matter to them, they didn't feel like they belonged in the city anyway. The forest was where they were and where they belonged. Even though they didn't have the best spot in the kingdom, the family knew that the king tried everything he could, and the family was happy nonetheless. The life in the shadows wasn't ideal, but they had what they needed to survive. The family had two sons. The oldest son was proud to be a part of Argabon. He tried his best to be part of the community, and he believed that they could indeed make the dream of the king come true, and make a heaven out of those lands. The youngest son didn't share the positive view of his oldest relative. He hated to live in the dark forest, away from the rest of the civilization of Argabon. One day he took his belongings and left his family to travel to the main city. His family was lost without him. The little family they had formed just didn't feel the same way without the youngest among them. They had lived together for years, just the parents and the two sons. The fact that one of the sons had left was devastating. They tried to reach out for the boy, but he didn't want to hear any of it. When the young boy arrived in the big city, he went to a restaurant to apply for a job as waiter. He hoped to get a job there and to start a wealthy life in the city. Little did he know that the villagers weren't as eager to meet him as he was to meet them. The people in the village didn't trust the filthy man that had lived in the woods and now didn't have a home. He had a very dirty appearance since he had traveled so far, and without a home he had a lack of hygiene. After hours of traveling through the city, exploring and applying for jobs, he ended up looking for a place to sleep for the night. He found a comfortable spot under the highway bridge. Although it was cold and he didn't have any food, it was dry and he could make a fire to warm him in the night. The next days he spent his time in the street, begging for money and helping people to earn some money. He had to do everything he could to survive these days. He might be living his life in the so-called heaven, but he still felt like he wasn't where he belonged. In the forest he had been living in the shadows, but at least he had a home and a family that loved him there. After a month of living on the streets, begging became his main activity during the day. Trying to survive was his job in the night. He was too ashamed to return to his family in the forest, although he longed for the warmth and the comfort that his family could give. One day, while he was begging in the street, some familiar faces were standing right in front of him. He immediately fell into the arms of his family, and they returned home to the forest without saying another word. The family never mentioned the boy's adventure again. They were just happy where they were. They were happy in the shadows. Heaven wasn't made for them. Their home was in its shadow. Their home was in the shadows of heaven.